Do you like having fresh, clean, cool drinking water on a hot summer's day? So do our cattle. Join me today as I show you how we make sure that our cattle have clean, fresh water and what it is that we do as part of our regular maintenance in ensuring that they've got clean water to drink. All right, so first up, we've got our trough that's got a reasonable amount of algae in it. So we're gonna have to tidy that up and do something about the algae to reduce the amount of it we have. So before I get started and dump the water, just gonna turn the tank off. So you can see that we've got a really big trough. It's about 2,000 litres and it's made of concrete. So it keeps it nice and cool even on the hottest of days. Being 2,000 litres gives us plenty of water for a whole herd of cattle to come in and have a drink. We can see here that there has been some damage to this trough, but the good thing about concrete is they don't rust. So this has been patched up with a concrete epoxy and it hasn't leaked since. I'm going to get started and dump this trough. We made up a special tool that's the right size and it's got a nut on the other side so that we can open our troughs up without any damage occurring on the plug. It's wide enough that it'll grip the whole plug and spread the load evenly. So that's our plug. It's got an O-ring on it and a very coarse thread. And so then the tool will go over the entire side. So while this water's dumping out, I'm going to get in there with a shovel and start to scrape down the sides. I'm also just going to scrape along the bottom to free up anything that's on the bottom there, just to make my life easier. All right, so that trough's looking pretty clean. Before I put the plug back in, I'm going to turn the water on and give it just a bit of a flush through to take off any of those last scrapings that I put in there. All the way on and half a turn back. So now we've got our fresh water coming in. I've still got a little bit of algae and stuff that was hanging up that I can just gently scrape away. While that trough is filling away, you can see the marks, the blue marks down there from when we put trough blocks in before. Now this is another huge advantage of using concrete troughs. It means that you can use copper sulfate blocks, which help reduce the amount of algae in the water and how much actually sticks to the ground surface in the trough there, which makes it easier to clean. You also, when you've got concrete troughs, can start using liquid mineral supplement injections to give your animals round the year doses of some of the things that they need. Because sometimes they don't have a huge uptake on lick blocks, which are a tasty treat block that is out there for the animals to lick and start to take up some essential minerals such as phosphorus. They need water. And so if you can put it into their water, you're going to make sure that they're getting it. So one of the factors when placing your trough block into the trough is you don't want it to be right under your outlet. These large concrete troughs are an absolute pleasure to clean. You're not dealing with the strange shapes of random metal troughs, and also you're not dealing with the warping that you get with plastic troughs in the temperatures we get out here. So having the large concrete trough means that that level of maintenance, or that maintenance task, is a lot easier, which means it's going to get done more often. So keeping the trough clean means that the water is nice and fresh for the animals, which means our animals are happier and more contented. They can come in, get as much water as they need and get out, and not drink the trough dry. Short, shallow, sheep-style troughs aren't that great for the cattle out here because they're more likely, and we saw it when we were still retrofitting them out here, you would see cattle coming into the old trough and working out how they could get into the float valve to push it down to force water out so they could get the cool water. The lighter coloured tanks are also pretty great. Now if we jump up onto the camera up there, we can see everything that's happening here, and we've worked out that the most likely time for something to go wrong with your trough is after you've cleaned it. So it's good to be able to jump on the camera the next day, the next couple of days, and just make sure that it's not overflowing, the float's not stuck or anything. And then if it is, well, it's quite easy. I jump in the plane and I land on the airstrip over there and I can sort it out in minutes instead of it being the next week when you've done another mill run. If you've got any tips and tricks about how to keep your troughs clean and fresh, let us know in the comments down below. And if you've had any experience with liquid mineral injection, it'd be great to hear from you, because something we're looking at bringing in once we've done a little bit more blood testing on our livestock here. So thanks again for joining me. I'm going to do a little bit more of a tidy up around here, then I should be on my way home. Thanks.